This project started actually in March earlier of this year because I had a sudden moment of realization while I was walking outside that I had lost all of my sense of wonder with the outside world. For the first few months of the pandemic, while we were stuck inside, I just read report after report after report about anti-Asian hate crimes. And so for the first year of the pandemic, I didn't go anywhere by myself. We barely left our place for weeks at a time. And when we did, we would run errands, always my husband and I together. A year later, when we both got vaccinated, I was really, really excited to go back outside, to walk outside by myself, to run errands by myself, because I was excited to get back to a quote-unquote new normal. But I realized that the very first time I walked down the street in downtown San Francisco by myself, that I was completely paralyzed with fear and anxiety that someone would come up from nowhere and just hit me over and over into the ground like I saw in those videos. When I was about 4, I told my parents I wanted to be an artist. And then, immigrant family, and they were supportive, but also like, that's gonna be really financially hard. And so I grew up studying and going for things that would make me money and stability, because that's what immigrant families prioritize most of all. I actually went into business and tried to go into investment banking. And that was like, investment banking, I did an internship. I did 2 investment banking internships. And then after the second one, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work out. When I realized how scared I was to be outside and walk outside, I wanted to explore more of that. I wanted to understand myself better. And I've always, as a data visualization creator, practitioner, I've always turned to data to understand the outside world. But this time I turned to my own data to understand me. Data visualization, I like to joke that data visualization is basically the closest to art that I can still get tech companies to pay me for. And then just like kind of wound my way through it for about like 9 years and was like, no, I still want to be an artist. The data taught me both exactly what I thought I knew, but also it has also given me a lot of hope. And what I mean by that is when I first gathered the data, there was such a stark drop in the number of photos between February 2020 and March 2020. And that's shown in these prints. The stories are all represented in these prints that people will walk through and read about. And then March 2020, all of the photos disappear. Having the background that I do, I have, without realizing it, made myself smaller and smaller. Part of what has been really fun about being at ITP is all the fabrication and all of the physical pieces I get to do that takes up space, because I've forgotten how to take up space. I've told myself for a lot of my life that I should not take up space and that I should be small, because I was told growing up that I'm quote unquote intimidating. Have you ever gotten that? Isn't that so frustrating?
All the time.
And so I'm like, oh, I don't want to be intimidating. So I made myself smaller. And then in the last few years, I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna be everything that I am. For each of these prints, the visuals are actually printed on cardstock paper, and then the text and annotations are laser etched onto acrylic that has some depth, and it casts this beautiful shadow, like an IRL drop shadow. And the story, whereas like in a website they might scroll past the visual, I've kind of included them as these like little placards. The ceiling is really low, And so the rod that I have to mount the magic arm to, everything is too close to the water bowl, which is making the projection smaller than the diameter of the water bowl. Because I used to work in software, I could get everything pixel perfect, and I used to be I'm still obsessive about getting things pixel perfect, but that actually is a detriment for me right now because nothing in the actual world is pixel perfect. That has included things like designing plates that didn't give, what's the word, tolerance for the things that it was trying to fit. I designed that at like 2 a.m. and didn't think that through because I just reverted to my old habits of pixel perfect. I originally conceptualized the main piece of the show, which is called Wonder. It is the data visualization animated and projected over a bowl of water. And when it animates during the pandemic, water drips onto the surface of the water to kind of signify how I felt about that time and to distort the surface of the water. And being able to see that installed the first time around was actually really, really healing for me, to see all of my emotions and pain and insecurities kind of take a physical form and allow myself to acknowledge that and have it take up that physical space. It's been so fun to think about how to do what I used to do digitally and telling visual, data-driven stories for the web and consider how that could fit into a three-dimensional physical space. I'm so grateful to EV Gallery and Carrie and Nicole for letting me take up this space, first of all, and tell my story. But second of all, I'm so grateful for every single friend that I've like called on and like really panicked, stressed, like fabrication did not work out and I'm now like in such a crunch, can you please help me? And they've all just selflessly just stepped up and helped me. And even after kind of the meandering path, I came back here. I want to create art. I want to put stories out there. I think the community that has come together to help me make this come true has given me so much more. It has also given me so much hope and courage to keep going and keep telling my story and